over to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Gary. So, here we are, the clicker. So, my name's Lisa Thorne, and I'm going to talk about why AI adoption is a culture problem, not a tooling problem. So, we're going to start with something that's not been addressed today. So AI, we've looked at it left, right, centre, we've looked from every single angle. Now, what could we possibly have left out? Well, this bit, the interaction between AI and humans. So why am I going to talk about that? Well, Together Global, what we do is we focus on the gap between people. We focus on the impact of the cultural differences between us all, because we're all brainwashed in the best possible way. The gap isn't you or them, it's between you. So we focus literally on this interaction. Now, before we start, everyone's a bit tired. And so can we just stand up for a moment? Literally, just for a minute, just stand up. And I'm going to ask, shake about a bit, the last one before we have the closer from Kerry. So I'd like everybody to stay standing up if you self-identify as British. By that, I mean you either I'm British, or you're partially British, or you've just lived in Britain for long enough that you think, you know what, I know how they operate and I think like a Brit. So the majority of us are someone's standing up as well. So some of us are self-identifying, so we're self-identifying as Brits. Now I would like to ask you one question. Do you say please and thank you to AI? So sit down if you don't. Okay, so we've got to stand up as well. Thank you, everyone sit down. But we were seeing that the stats actually stack up. An Ipsos survey showed last year. You also say sorry. So a staggering 67% of Brits say please and thank you to a machine. Me included, by the way. And the reason for that is 83% say it's just the right thing to do, very British. 17% said they're hedging against the robot uprising. And of course, because that's Brits, you're probably thinking, well, that's obviously because British are going to approach it with more of a sense of humour. So these are going automatically, aren't they? There's the slides. Oh, right, okay. So the claim, the evidence. So where do we find... That's that. So where do we find the evidence for the claim that AI adoption is a culture problem and not a tooling problem? Well, where do you go except by asking Claude? So I asked Claude, and Claude said, buying me was the easy part, working with me is the bit everyone assumes will just happen. And we've really looked today about you can't just assume that people interacting with AI will just happen. In fact, I asked Claude when I started this conversation, what would you like me to call you? Because, of course, I don't want to call you a tool or, don't want to offend him or anything. And Claude, just as a very cool Frenchman, just replied, just call me Claude. And that was it. So what the evidence? So the evidence here is taken from a very handy Boston Consulting Group piece of research about... basically about how business results have been driven from the use of AI, and it was published in June 2026, so just a few weeks ago. Now, interestingly, people were asked two questions. It was almost 10,000 people, and they're just people at all different organisations, different levels. That one thing they have in common is they use AI regularly. And they were asked two questions. One, how do you rate how clear is your company's AI strategy? Like Bhavesh was talking about, how much is your organisation really investing into making sure that everyone knows how to use it and it's a priority? Secondly, how good is your access to those AI tools? So what we found was, where all of the people who were asked, who responded that both were a vague strategy and poor tools, the second question was, have you seen measurable business impact from your use of AI? And 55% said Yes, so about half. Half had seen an actual, measurable impact. It had moved the dial, only half of them. So when you had investment in tools, that shifted only by 5 points. But when the strategy was clarified and where the emphasis went on to making a really good strategy that everyone could understand, it was clear and get behind, it was times 5. So right up to 80. And in fact, when tools and strategy were addressed, it was only 63. So you can see it's really here, this data from a few weeks ago is really showing that it's really important for every organisation and every leader, that was the conclusion it came to, really gets behind AI, and people are shown and supported and rewarded to you by, for using it. So if that's the evidence that strategy matters more than tools, what actually works? Well, here, the challenge of getting from I've heard of it to I use it every day. I mean, I spoke to my, we're in the UK and India, and I spoke to our director in Hyderabad, and she says, for communication, she never uses AI because it's too American. She said, I need to spend so long Indianizing it that actually I don't use it. I just use it for certain tasks. And when any members of the team give her anything that's clearly from AI, again, she says, I don't want to know what Claude thinks. I want to know what you think. So no one is really addressing a big problem that we're having is AI adoption stalls when the rules come from head office in their language, not how the team actually talks. I've been in India. And I've been in India where you have all the slogans everywhere, and it means different things in different places. Respect, for instance, in a we culture and a me culture. In a we culture, it's respect for the hierarchy, respect for people who are older than you, respect for the harmony. In a me culture, it's respect me, respect my rights, respect my ability to do this and that. So it's, and most organisations, what are their values? Respect, integrity, excellence, everyone has the same ones. And if you're in a different location, the meaning of them changes. And when everything comes from HQ and it's sent across the world, then it's not going to land as well. So you have to really see how it lands. So the conclusion is, the bit that nobody's talking about and nobody has mentioned today, is your AI has an accent. And generally it's American. So you have situations where, there we go, oops, sorry. AI is trained on human language. Human language carries culture. Left alone, it writes short, direct, and assertive. And if a message, which an update on the schedule that was requested in America and through time zones was sent over to the UK to land in India 2 years ago, the Brit in between would have kind of softened the language and used that thing that comes naturally, like saying please and thank you, to make sure that the message lands in the way that's going to get the best result, or it's just culturally sensitive. But with AI, that message is going to go straight through, and it can come across as angry, rude, where the intention isn't there at all. So what's happening is we're allowing AI to change the tone of communication silently. It's like it's just happening because that's the integral built-in tone, cultural tone that AI has. So AI makes the message faster, it doesn't make it land better. So for cross-border teams, which is where we specialise, they don't get this friction once, they get it twice. Now, we've done a fantastic experiment where we've taken a team and we've asked them to pinpoint the cross-cultural friction, because it exists in every cross-border relationship, in every cross-border team. You get the poor communication, the misaligned expectations. Oh, I thought you meant this, I thought you meant that. And it does have an impact. It annoys people and you end up in a breakdown in trust. And not only is it happening with people, but it's also happening with AI. I mean, hands up anyway, who hasn't got a bit frustrated with Claude now and again. I certainly have. It does all the most brilliant things, but then sometimes really easy things it can't do. And I realise I'm getting worked up to a machine. So here, it's, as we said today, AI isn't a decision, it's here. and it's working. And so here, 95% of front-facing staff in India are using it, UK, US similar. So half of organisations have no shared guidance on how humans and agents work together, and what guidance exists rarely accounts for how each market actually communicates. Because in every place across the world, there's a way people actually communicate, and it's being kind of all dictated by HQ, which isn't efficient because people, it doesn't feel right to people in different locations. I've been in offices in India, particularly where the slogans are everywhere and everyone's just like, well, I don't really know what that means. So what we do is we have developed a program, and the program we have developed is called AI in Flow. So it's for 2 types of alignment and 1 methodology. So what we do is, the first part is teams in flow, and it is sequential because first we get the teams in different locations, Czech Republic, Zimbabwe, England, wherever, in flow, so that we surface, and we're a neutral third party, and we have tools and techniques to surface all these differences. In the case of a new team, it's easy because you're set up for success. But in the case of an existing team, that's where it's more interesting because you can see how the dial is going to move, how productivity, engagement across the team is going to be increased because we've surfaced all that stuff that people say in private and they don't say publicly, and we create a safe space to do that. So, and our solution is we create a hybrid culture, one way of working that everyone can work together that's effective. And it's a high performance culture, and it's not, disrespecting or, forgetting or whatever of anyone's culture. It means everyone is shifting to do it. It's not Westerners imposing a cultural imposition at all. It's about, again, everyone moving towards a high performance culture, which means you get better results. So then it's a process of diagnose, design, track and embed, and it's measured against your own KPIs, OKRs. So that's what we do. But the second part is the interesting part, because when we've got everyone culturally aligned, we then get everyone culturally aligned between the humans and AI. And that's the program we've developed. So 3 things to take away from here. I did quite well. I think I might have kept to the schedule. Number 1, AI adoption is a culture problem, not a tooling problem. Number 2, your AI has an accent. It's American. Nobody chose it. It's just ended up being that way. And teams that build a hybrid culture aligned with each other and with AI are the ones that will pull ahead. It's a competitive advantage, and the teams that actually focus on this, take action, will gain an advantage because it's the invisible part. How after all of today could one thing have escaped everyone's notice and no one to have talked about it or even touched on it? Many talks, people talked about, there's risk again, there's governance again, but it's something that everyone ignores because people don't really know how to talk about it. We specialise in it. And so this is me. Do scan the QR code. It will take you to our website, togetherglobal.com/GSA, if you'd like to have a conversation about how we could help get your teams working better with AI. Thank you very much.
That's great. Yeah, I promised you high energy. We've got high energy.